Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about exceptions to the fundamental rights. So total three exceptions are present in our Indian constitution which are known as exceptions to the fundamental rights of the Indian constitution. So those were the Article 31A, Article 31B and Article 31C. So in the previous class we already discussed about the Article 31A, which tells about and which is saving of laws which are providing for the acquisition of the estates, etc. Okay, so total five important categories of laws it was saved by the Article 31A, which was added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1950. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the Article 31B, which is also known as the exception to the fundamental rights. Okay. So this is the second exception to the fundamental rights, that is Article 31B. So here which is added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1950, as in the earlier we see in that Article 31B also same like added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1950. Okay, so let's come to the deep discussion regarding the Article 31B. So here Article 31B, which tells about the validation of certain important acts and regulations which are added in the ninth schedule. Okay, so here it saves the acts and regulations which are added in the ninth schedule. It means Article 31B, the entire Article 31B provision which saves the validation of certain acts and regulations which are placed in the ninth schedule. Okay, so here it saves some important acts which placed in ninth schedule from challenging and invalidating on the grounds of the fundamental rights violation. Okay, so here there is no matter regarding fundamental violation of the important acts and regulations which are in the ninth schedule. It means here the Article 31B, which protects the some acts and regulations in ninth schedule from fundamental rights contravention. Okay, so here, according to the Article 31B, it is very wider than 31A because there's so many important acts and regulations were placed in the ninth schedule. So that's why here Article 31B is very wider, and it tells about the different it defines the different provisions under Article 31B than the 31A. Okay. So almost originally 1951 when it was added. So here in that particular time in ninth schedule only 13 acts were present. But here in 2016, according to 2016 year, so total 282 important acts and regulations were added. Okay, so because of this importance, so why the government is very interesting to add such important acts and regulations in the ninth schedule, because according to the Article 31B, it never goes viral, it never go to the courts on the basis of the fundamental rights contravention. Okay, so that's why here Article 31B itself is providing immunity to the acts and regulations which are placed in the ninth schedule. So here we can say that Article 31B itself is a one type of the protective layer to the ninth schedule. Okay. In 2007, so the significant judgment was given in IR Kolher case. There could not be any blanket immunity from the judicial review of laws which are included in the ninth schedule. Basically, ninth schedule cannot be touched by any other person on the basis of the fundamental rights contravention. Okay, but in 2007, unfortunately, the Supreme Court given a great and significant judgment in the particular case. Here, there was no blanket of immunity from the judicial review of the laws which are in the ninth schedule. Okay, and so they also told about Supreme Court held that judicial review is a basic feature of the Indian Constitution. So that's why we are not able to take away that judicial review by putting such laws in the ninth schedule. Okay, because the entire Indian Constitution ninth schedule is very important because it protects every important law and regulations, maybe which is against the fundamental rights, even though The right to property was deleted from the fundamental list, so that's why there's no person has the ability to put a petition against any other person on the basis of the article 31b, because article 31b is a one type of the immunity layer to the ninth schedule. So that's why here Supreme Court held that judicial review is a basic feature, basic structure of the Indian constitution. So that's why judicial review cannot be able to take away, so by putting or by keeping such laws under the ninth schedule. So that's why here laws which are placed under the ninth schedule after April 24, 1973 onwards, those were open to challenge in courts if any such laws violated fundamental rights, especially those fundamental rights guaranteed under Article 14, 15, 19, 21, and even basic structure also. Okay, if any law is violated these articles and basic structure of the Indian constitution after 1973, how many laws were added into the ninth schedule? If any such laws after 1973 which affected any other person's fundamental rights, especially those fundamental rights were article 14, 15, 19, 21, and basic structure of the Indian constitution, those were challenged in the court. Especially this process is known as judicial review. Okay, so here we already know 1951 originally only 13 acts were placed in ninth schedule, but at present in 2016 according to the tier 282 acts and regulations were added into the ninth schedule of the Indian constitution. Okay, so compulsory, you may have a doubt about what are the acts and regulations, what are the important laws which place in ninth schedule. What's the purpose to place such acts in the ninth schedule only? Because Article 31b was added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1951. Because of that only it protects the ninth schedule. Okay, so here according to this important ninth schedule, all the important acts, regulations which are related to the land reforms, abolition of Jamindari system. Okay, so those important laws which were placed in the ninth schedule. And next remaining laws which are related to the parliament. Parliament is deals some important other matters also, other important provisions. So parliament's provisions and parliament may take such decisions, so those also were involved and placed in the ninth schedule, so that's why the number was increased day by day. Okay, so here according to the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1951, it added Article 31b. In the same way it added ninth schedule to the Indian constitution. So before this one originally we had only 8 schedules of the Indian constitution, but according to the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1951, it added two important things. First one is Article 31b and the ninth schedule to the Indian constitution. As we explained earlier, so that is previous class, 31a article also added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1951. I think, I hope everyone can understand my class according to the exceptions to the fundamental rights. If you have any doubt, ask me in the comment box. I'll give reply to your questions. Okay. In the next class, I'll explain the third important article, that is exception to the fundamental rights, that is Article 31c. Okay.